Farms.
I'm here with Gavin's mom, Joan Smith. Now, this is Gavin's third table that he's been at. What's it like watching him play for $1 million?
Very exciting. Usually we just watch it on TV, but being here in person is great.
Yeah, it's better to see it live.
Oh, very much so.
Now, what are you going to do if he wins tonight?
We're going to celebrate. We're only here overnight, but we're going to make a big night of it celebrating with him. Yeah.
And what's making you nervous watching him?
Ooh, all these other players in it, which, you know, we'd like to get rid of a few and then just have Gavin, and it'll be great. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll keep rooting for him. Thanks for talking to us. Let's get back to the action.
Great players at the table, superstars. Action's going to be on Gavin. He throws away King 6.
Scotty on the button with King High, lays it down.
And now the grinder with the Doyle Brunson hand, 10 deuce offsuit in the small blind.
And slow the grinder down. He calls with a 10 deuce offsuit.
Into the big blind, Raul. Raul this time has Queen 4 offsuit.
He checks it and says, give us a flop. What the flop is Jack 4 deuce with 2 diamonds. The grinder's flop bottom pair and checks. And Raul has flopped middle pair, and he's betting 50,000. Look at this, Vince. The grinder is going to raise him with bottom pair here.
Well, they think they could just push the Spaniard around. We saw Gavin last hand sticking around with him, and now the grinder making a power play against him.
I'll tell you, the problem Raul has now is that once you call this $100,000 bet, what are you going to do on 4th Street and the river if your opponent continues to bet at you? Will you continue to call with the 2 4s?
Don't forget they were both in the blinds. They already had money in. No one raised before the flop, so you suspect them for junk. So it's very scary if you just have 4s and the guy comes, checks, raises on you.
Well, what's interesting about this hand is had grinder let out on the flop and bet the 2 deuces, chances are Raul would have just called him down. But once he's check raised to indicate an even stronger hand, you're looking at second pair. You're up against a legend in the poker world now, the grinder. What do you do?
No, he finally has to let it down.
And he does muck it. So grinder check raising with the bottom pair, winning the pot with the worst hand again.
Sneaky poker here in Tunica, the way it should be played.
2 are gone, 4 are left. The showdown in Dixie continues right after this. Welcome back to the final table of the World Poker Open. I'm Courtney Friel, and here's how the battle for the Mississippi Millions has gone so far.
Early on in Tunica, controversy erupted as a miscue by WPT champion Michael Mizrachi gave new life to Scotty Wynn and kept alive his dream of finally capturing a WPT title. Soon thereafter, the dreams of poker stardom ended for amateur Bao Lei and longtime Vegas pro and the boss Tran, as both were sent packing down the river. Now, with an unknown European and 3 of poker's top gamblers left, it's anybody's guess who will be strutting off this riverboat with $1 million bounce in their walk.
And now back to my favorite gentleman gamblers, Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
Current chip leader, former world champion Scotty Wynn with about $2.6 million in chips. In second place, Michael the Grinder Mizrachi with about $2.2 million. Raul Paez in third place with about $1.1 million. And Gavin Smith on the short stack right now, a little less than $600,000.
A very chatty group and rich group after tonight.
Well, action's on Scotty. He folds a 7-4.
The grinder with Queen 8. Going to be patient. And now Raul,
throw one away, you know. Even you better.
the man that doesn't speak a word of English, with 4 9 of diamonds, says, I'm going to call it.
And Gavin, also with a 4-9, says give us a flop. So both players have the exact same cards, a 9 and a 4. Here comes the flop. It's Jack 6-3, no help to either player. Raul checks. And Gavin goes to a chips and fires at the pot, sensing weakness on the part of Raul.
Just oh so casually.
He bets 60,000, and Raul gives up the pot. And Vince, it just shows you that the last 2 hands Raul has played, his opponents have outplayed him. I mean, he is up against it. For him to win this title and get through these 3 great players, that would be something special. Action's going to be on the grinder, Michael Mizrachi.
Chatting up with Scotty Wynn. Queen 9 of clubs.
That was ridiculous. Yeah. Throw one away, Grinder. You don't have to play it all the time.
The Grinder is going to raise it here. Makes it 180,000 to go.
Right behind him, Raul, peeking down at a suited connector, 6-7 of hearts, with the button, goes out.
Well, the action's on Gavin. And let's take a peek at the WPT hole cam brought to you by Budweiser and see what he's got.
And yes, he's got a nice hand, ace-jack offsuit.
He looks over at the Grinder.
It's Buddha time.
Look at this, he says it's Buddha time, he puts it all in.
Well, one more time, Gavin's gone all in.
Scotty going out with 10-7, back around to the Grinder.
Well, almost the same scenario as a little while back, where the Grinder's getting about 2-to-1 odds on his money. In this case, it's going to cost him $475,000 more to call. $935,000 in the pot. And because of the WPT cam, we can see it's almost the same scenario.
Well, what's interesting is you keep doubling up. The guy that could be the WPT Player of the Year, Gavin Smith, you could be stepping in it.
The Grinder is not quite a 3-to-2 underdog to win this pot, so mathematically, he would be hitting the correct price to make this call.
Doesn't seem like much.
Not a lot of chips.
Remember the last time this came up, the Grinder had King 10. He gambled in that situation. This is what's great about No Limit Hold'em. You got to pick your spots at the right time to gamble.
Let's gamble.
And the Grinder's doing it here.
Well, he feels it, apparently. So all on the line for Gavin Smith. Ace-jack versus Queen 9.
Gavin, not quite a 3-to-2 favorite to win this pot, but indeed the favorite to do so. And he must do so to stay alive.
And look at Gavin chanting Buddha as he hugs his man. Here's the flop.
Look at this, Vince. Gavin has flopped a pair of aces, but the Grinder has flopped a flush draw.
Oh, yeah.
So Gavin now slightly more than a 3-to-2 favorite to win the pot, but still, he's got a lot of cards he's got to dodge to get out of Dodge here.
Oh, man. Looseness going on while millions at stake. Here's the turn. It's a jack.
Now, this eliminates the ace of clubs from winning for the Grinder. He's got to catch a club that's not an ace, because Gavin would have a full house if the ace of clubs popped off there.
Yeah, but if a club pops up, it'll be over for Gavin Smith. He'll have to be going back to Vegas.
The club flush would flush Gavin Smith, but the 8 of hearts pops up. Gavin Smith again doubles up off the Grinder.
Look at this. Gavin's mom high-fiving people. And they're chanting Buddha.
Well, Buddha's that good luck charm that Gavin is wearing around his neck. He said it's good luck. If he wins this tournament, he's going to be able to franchise Buddha at all the shops across the country.
It was awesome winning at the Mirage. It's finally proven that you do belong in this sort of crowd. Until you win, you're just another one of the players that contributes. And then once you win, now you start thinking you're good enough to be there. I thought I was going to win the Bellagio. At one point, I had half the chips in play.
And it's a 4. Gavin Smith will not take home his second World Poker Tour title tonight.
What went wrong is I called mainly when I had the best hand.
He's got the Doyle Brunson hand.
Caught what became the best hand. Player of the Year, become Player of the Year. I think that would be a pretty good accomplishment. Something I'm shooting for, obviously. Gavin Smith. So this guy, Gavin Smith, the regularly handsome Gavin Smith, Canada's best-looking poker player, is the best player at the table, and he's probably going to win this tournament.
There was a TV series in the old days called Our Gang, and there was a character on it named Spanky. He was very funny. Anyway, if he grew up, you know, he might be Gavin Smith. They look a little alike.
Certainly, Spanky would love to be sitting at a WPT final table playing for $1 million.
All right, back to the table on Raul from Barcelona. Looks down at a 9 deuce. Doesn't want to play it.
Gavin peeks down at a 4-3. He opts to lay it down.
And now the small blind Scotty with King 10 and an opportunity.
But he just limps in with the King 10. The Grinder checks.
Nothing fancy here.
Yeah, both players with a reasonably decent hand and want to see a flop here.
Queen 8-5 on the flop.
Both players check.
The Grinder's got an inside straight draw. A jack on the turn here, Mike.
Scotty has an open-end straight draw.
He's come out of the woods. He's bet this.
But the Grinder has 2 jacks and is going to call him.
60,000. 60.
Yeah, plot thickening here. Quick play by these 2 superstars. The river comes up.
Well, the 4 spade comes off at the river. Action's on Scotty, and look at this, Vince. He's betting 220,000.
Well, he didn't hit, but he's going to bet nevertheless.
Well, the 2 heavyweights going at it one more time here. Grinder having the best hand with 2 jacks. Grinder calls him with the 2 jacks and is going to take the pot down.
Scotty misjudging just a little bit. Didn't think his opponent was that strong. Thought he could take it. He was wrong that time.
Well, he didn't see how the 4 would help Scotty unless he had exactly a 6-7, which would have been an open-end straight. So he paid him off, wanted to see what he had. And he caught Scotty with his hand in the cookie jar there, Vince. So nice read by the Grinder, Michael Mizrachi.
I'm happy to come back each year because the people always say that they were there when I won the first time.
Barry Charity Greenstein is our champion.
There were only a few hundred in the audience, but a few thousand have told me they were there. It's nice to hear that people claiming they were rooting for me to win.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. You're watching the World Poker Open from Tunica, Mississippi.
Well, what we're seeing is the cream rise to the top here, Vince. Scotty Wynn still our chip leader with a little over 2.1 million. In second place, the Grinder, Michael Mizrachi, with about 1.9. Gavin Smith now has over $1.5 million, and his short stack is now the Spaniard with a little less than $1 million.
And look at this. They're chanting everyone's name here tonight.
I've been here 7
Action
times.
on Scotty Wynn.
It was Grinder and I got here.
Well,
It's a spectacle.
It's called Highway Patrol here. The 10-4, and Scotty's raising with it. Makes it 200,000 to go.
7 chip, baby.
The Grinder Mizrachi with ace-deuce right behind him.
He lays down the ace-high.
Interesting, he goes out. Now Raul has ace-3.
Well, he's also got ace-high. Let's see what he's going to do with it. He's going out also.
Only one to beat, Gavin Smith. Gavin's got 9-7 in the big blind, but wants no part of it.
Well, he lays it down, so there it is, over and out for Scotty Wynn right there.
Well, Scotty Wynn is going to steal that pot. You know, Mike, I'd love to see Scotty Wynn at a karaoke bar. I mean, that would be special, wouldn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, it's fun to go to a bar with Scotty Wynn because he buys all the drinks.
Action on the Grinder, Michael Mizrachi.
He looks down at 8-4 offsuit, throws it away. Raul on the button, looks down at Jack-9, lays it down.
And now Gavin Smith. He's got Queen-7 this time.
Gavin calls out of the small blind.
And Scotty Wynn with 7-5 of diamond says, let's see the flop.
So it's Queen-7 for Gavin, 7-5 for Scotty.
Dealer crushing the table.
My card?
I got to see Scotty's cards. What does Scotty got? What you got, Scotty?
So here we go.
King, queen of spade.
Well, flop has come 7-4 deuce. Both players have flopped top pair. Gavin has him out-kicked here. This could lead to trouble for Scotty Wynn.
Well, Gavin came right out and bet $80,000 right into Scotty with the top pair.
He's going to make it 160,000.
It's Buddha time, baby.
All right, baby.
And without hesitation, Gavin goes all in.
And Scotty quickly makes the call.
Wow, what a quick call by Scotty. Folks, that was over a $1.2 million all-in call Scotty Wynn had to make right there, and he is in dire straits right now, Vince.
And once again, Gavin Smith from Las Vegas, former WPT champion, goes in with the best of it.
And Scotty didn't even take a moment to think about it, Vince. He put over $1.2 million in the pot with just 2 sevens. You have to question that quick call by Scotty Wynn there.
Well, it is necklace versus necklace.
Yeah, it's the gold necklace versus the silver Buddha. Well, Gavin Smith, a 3-1 favorite to win the pot right now.
Here comes the turn. It's a deuce. It pairs the board.
Well, that's not a bad card for Scotty, because now if an ace or a king comes off, or a deuce or a 7, they would split this pot.
Exactly.
So it gives him more outs, as we say. He still needs a 5 to win the pot, but he can catch an ace, king, 7, or deuce and get a tie. Well, here comes the river card, a huge pot, nearly $3 million in there. It's a king. Scotty recognizes he gets the chop right away.
Well, you gotta say something about luck tonight for Scotty. Right from off the bat, when Mizrachi called that hand, Scotty was saved about $1 million. It just seems like destiny could be here this evening.
Well, you're right about that, Vince. Will it lead him to his first WPT title? We shall see.